still incredibly precarious. Dip a wheel on there, round you go, end of the race, and we form up again behind the safety car. There is one Ferrari now battling two McLarens in the live constructors' points, thanks to that moment.
Before all this broke out, we were just talking about the impressive run that Ocon was having. He had almost a 3-second gap over Verstappen that he had pulled out since the red flag restart. Another restart, that gap is gone. But again, the advantage that you have having clean air in front of you, having no spray in front of you, is massive. So right now, not only does he have clean air, more downforce on the car, it's just unimpeded view. And when you're dealing with where to place the car, puddles, standing water, maybe running water, that 3-second gap almost he was able to pull out. So impressive. We can take a look there at the potential change as they run in the Constructors' Championship.
This would be the equivalent of rolling and double sticks for Alpine. They are staring at their worst season. No top 8 finishes since 1985.
This is what I'm saying, mate. One lap, things could look rosy. Next lap, we're all bunched together. Anything can happen. Still a very, very long way to go. Keep your head down, keep focused. 29 laps remaining.
Epic delivery of a really important message. The work has been sensational, but it is not completed for Max Verstappen and Red Bull.
No, it's all rosy right now, but as GP said there, one lap it can be rosy, one lap it can all be completely. This seems to happen now for a multitude of drivers in this Grand Prix. That's the 5th retirement so far. Sainz, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Albon, and Stroll out before it even started. Here's Lando Norris.
Lando, there's been lots of offs. Most of them are white lines.
Would you want that info?
Absolutely. That is such crucial information. We talked earlier, Lando especially being incredibly aggressive on those apex curves. The entry curves and the exit curves, you got to be a little bit more gentle with. And so for sure, you want that information as a driver. Every bit of info you can get on track conditions, maybe certain corners where people have been struggling. Just one more data point in the brain and the data bank there to refer to when you're out there in the heat of competition. So very good piece of information between the pit wall and the driver.
Well, a warm welcome
So Joseph giving that information to his driver Lando Norris. That has been working
day this could
really
be
well.
for one.
Giving the information at the crucial moments, and there are crucial moments coming the way of the field. The incident involving car 55, that is, Carlos Sainz, has been noted.
If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit,
is ending
around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane.
Potential for the end of the race.
Speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here, just waiting
even
to
more of it,
punish
Hitch.
drivers.
Even more of it.
Why
Coming
not?
our way.
Come on, why not? Just let's throw a little more at them. Can we get a
Many
tornado in
tricky
the area?
corners and fast straights here at the Circuit
Yeah.
Villeneuve.
Damn, more rain in Brazil.
Remarkable stuff. It's opening practice to lap 42. The safety car is ending. We believe the incident noted for Carlos Sainz was for the marshals touching the car in an attempt to get back into things. So they're going to have a look at that. That's
Watching the
procedural
live
stuff.
race in Brazil.
They are still looking at the procedure at the very start of the
Did you hear?
race. I want to remind you of that. Because it
Lots
could
of
yet
names on our
affect
grid for this
order. We're
F1
gonna
World
get some
event
great
today,
racing
but
now.
let's focus
Now,
on this
Ocon
driver.
has
It's their
passed this
first time in
exact
this
once.
division.
He's got to do it
Big day
again.
ahead.
Verstappen
Well,
has
this could
seen
be
the
quite
tactics,
an...
just a little more aggressive now, trying to stay
I know
in
you're
because
gutted
it
to be
was a
starting
great
from here, but
restart
just
that
focus on
last
putting
time.
that and some other cars behind you. Good luck.
Max ever not aggressive? I mean, at this point, a second place, if Norris stays down in 5th, is great for him. It's great for his championship campaign. I don't think he is thinking that way. I think he is an absolute racer. Going to try to get around the Alpine and go for that victory. Put information on.
Last moment of relative silence before the roar of V6 engines will reverberate around the Autodromo Carlos Pache, named for a Brazilian hero of the 1970s. Formula One has been visiting this place since 1973 in the World Championship.
Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage.
Ocon leaving the field behind. They're very tightly bunched up in the background. There's a big opportunity for Charles Leclerc. There's a big opportunity for George Russell. But a better one for Max Verstappen, who finds himself taking the lead as Lando Norris
Max took the lead.
The championship pendulum swings in one corner. Piastri gets past Norris, who drops down to 7th position as Verstappen goes from 17th on the grid to the lead in Brazil.
From bad to worse for Lando Norris. Not only does Verstappen take the lead, he falls back as now the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso trying to hang on the outside, flirting with that white line that we just saw take out Carlos Sainz. But an incredible move from Max. We talked about it. That aggression was there. He went for it as Hamilton defending now against Liam Lawson at the top part of the racetrack. And now Lawson coming back on the inside into turn 8.
Can he find his way past Hamilton? Hamilton's deep. Hamilton's nearly off. Alonso is off as well and gaining another place as they are swapping the order. Far more aggressive on this second restart than before. And now it's Piastri in 6th, Norris in 7th, Tsunoda is in 8th. Lawson got past the pair, and Alonso is the last of the point scorers at the moment, as Behrman, who was scrambling all over the road, is trying to overtake Lewis Hamilton. These two going wheel to wheel once again. This time off the road is Fernando Alonso once more. This is an inexplicable Grand Prix as Alonso tumbles out of 10th place and Perez takes the position. We have a yellow flag in sector 3 for that moment.
Yellow flag, Alonso went out the track.
Who is fighting all the while trying to get on terms with Charles Leclerc.
And you just see how bad the visibility is out of the front of Russell's car, trying to just make out the flashing lights on the attenuator on the back there of the Ferrari of Leclerc. It's so difficult at those speeds to pick out where the race car is. You've got to be so aware of the surroundings because it can go south so quickly if you're not keeping track of the cars around you.
Max Verstappen from 17th on the grid to the lead of the Grand Prix. An incredible run through the field in difficult conditions. This was Fernando Alonso further back a few moments ago. That was him off the road at turn 12. He did rejoin. He's now the last car running.
Had a little pirouette before he got going again. We've seen how slick the grass is, obviously, when you're out there, and luckily was able to keep it rolling, but turn 12 just being the problem corner today. Luckily, no wall there, and we haven't lost a car to that corner yet, but we've certainly had a few misses.
Ain't no stopping Max no more. He's going to win this race.
All right, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
Too into the race right now. I'm too into the real life race. Not locked in.
But what a headline Verstappen has written here. It is so significant in terms of the drive and the World Championship.
As it stands, this race is not yet done and anything can change. Let's take another look at this move. Again, he wasn't even sizing him up on the entry. His braking point was just so much later, so much less pressure, able to just get the move done. You see a little squiggle there from the Ferrari. Norris coming back on track just behind his teammate. I wonder if we're going to see that swap happen soon. Let Piastri move over, get Norris into some cleaner air, let him start trying to attack the cars in front. Almost a moot point, though, if Verstappen's able to keep himself out front right now.
The smiles are wide.
Let's check out the live tracking.
Quickest person, as you see the command now from McLaren to swap positions. That was expected. They didn't wait too long, which is the right thing to do now. Lando's got to be head down, attacking Russell.
We've seen so many errors today.
Drivers with
incredible experience. And that's Russell up to 4th. That's George Russell up to 4th position on the timing tower. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There it is. And Russell is able to get past Charles Leclerc. And is there another error there? You know, when Alonso's off the road multiple times in qualifying in the Grand Prix, that it's tricky conditions. It might be lap 46 of 69, but things can change late. And Lando Norris just has to get his head down and try and undo the damage. As we have seen throughout all of Super Sunday today, things can change.
And Lando has to push. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to take risks at this point in the Grand Prix. With Verstappen up front, it's the only hope he's got to keep his battle going any further realistically. So it is time for Lando to Don't think, just do. Don't worry about it. Just absolutely put the head down, put the hammer down, be aggressive, take risks, and try to make some ground up after that issue. And he's sizing up the Ferrari, not quite close enough to do it into one this time.
A superlative motor race works on to its 47th lap. Max Verstappen leads the field once again. He hasn't won a Grand Prix since back in June. Esteban Ocon is trying to fend off his teammate. The incident involving Charles Leclerc at turn 4 has been noted for rejoining unsafely. So that is how he lost the position to George Russell. I'm sure we'll clear it up with a replay in a few moments' time, maybe right about now.
Less than a few
minutes. Let's find out. I didn't know that was coming, honestly. But this is Charles Leclerc, the swap on, off the road, and Russell got through.
Let's see the dangerous re-entry here. I feel like we saw that, maybe even worse already in this Grand Prix. I'm surprised that one was noted when the others weren't. Don't expect that to be an issue. Russell didn't have to lift, didn't have to go off track to avoid the Ferrari, so no harm, no foul there. Just watching the pace now. 0.3 of a second faster last time around. George Russell ahead of Leclerc. We'll be hoping to put the pressure on the Alpines, but whatever setup they went for with Alpine, it is effective. And Verstappen devastating on the brakes, like he was against Oscar Piastri earlier on in the race, catching out Esteban Ocon, who was always going to fight that, knowing that Verstappen needed to think of the Drivers' World Championship, but he was through before he could even glimpse into the mirrors through the spray. And it's given a chance of a fourth career podium for the second win. For the moment, slips through his fingers. It's just amazing how different this looks than lap one, and where we started this Grand Prix with Verstappen down in 17th position, Norris on the pole. It has just turned on its head several times throughout this race already. It just shows how unpredictable Formula One can be when you throw a little bit of inclement weather into it.
Norris usually thriving in these conditions. There were hints in Q1, slightly wide there. There will be different lines from different drivers in these conditions, but there were hints in Q1 where he was racing in the championship context, trying to improve as he went through. He spoke to you, James, of his relief after he took pole position, because he knew that was a day where you could easily go out in Q2, which is what happened to Max Verstappen. Then he took a grid penalty, but Verstappen, from the moment that he released the clutch at the start of the Grand Prix, has been alive and electric and scything his way through the field at the moment to hold the race lead, and it's increasing. Fastest lap of the race belongs to him. We're looking at the battle. Can Lando now play the game of damage limitation? Perez is trying to line up Lawson on the left-hand side of your screen. The battle for 5th place is static, and there is no way by for the moment for Sergio Perez. Just want to remind you what Ferrari believe is going to happen at the end of the race. They believe there's more heavy racing to come before we see the checkered flag, as we settle into a bit of a rhythm after that second race, the safety car restart.
A rhythm, yes, that's true. We're slowly getting there. It's been a minute. It's been hard to get a consistent running order for a while. There's just been so much change up and down the grid. As you say, Perez now trying to line up Lawson, trying to make that happen. Both the Alpine drivers doing a phenomenal job right now. Big buffers both in front and behind for both of them, running in second and third. Checo trying to make up for an early spin. In the points right now, would love to get a little bit further up.
Lawson ahead of Perez, ahead of Hamilton. In the battle for 9th position. Behrman, after a couple of offs, at one stage it looked like he was spinning out of the race. Finds himself in 12th. It has turned into a race of attrition around a classic venue. Another fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Max Verstappen. And that would pay a bonus point. That would pay 26 points for Max Verstappen if he finishes in that position. Would be for Lando Norris as it stands, 8 to his tally. And we knew that this was going to be a day that was going to give us a defining outcome. You just know when the conditions are like this, there is going to be a serious winner. It just seems to turn out that way. You don't know who it's going to be yet, but it is a great story written so far by Max Verstappen in the Hall of Fame drives that he's had. And he's had some sensational ones in his career. This is right up there. Still, Russell can't get on terms with the Alpines. It's 1.9 seconds. We're looking at the scrap. Piastri's hurrying up Norris at the moment, only half a second away.
Yeah, I mean, Gasly doing a good job. Russell having a good chunk out of that gap on the last lap, about 0.6 faster than Gasly the last time around. But this swap with McLaren didn't really seem to work. Norris doesn't have the pace, it looks like, to attack the Ferrari. Piastri right on his gearbox. Looks like he does have more pace right now, but they're going to make sure he stays back there, stays in line. And then you look at it also from a Constructors' Championship standpoint. Checo can move up a little bit further. Max running up front, fastest lap, good haul of points there. One of the Ferraris out, the other one running in fifth. We're 29 points ahead of Red Bull right now for second in the Constructors. So this is a day for Red Bull to try to swing back, claw back some of that deficit that Ferrari's managed to gain over them over the last 2 weeks.
No further investigation on Charles Leclerc for rejoining unsafely. They agreed with James Hinchcliffe, but we've seen a tighter squeeze when leaving the road before rejoining at 5. This is on board with Oscar Piastri, who is following in the wheel tracks of his teammate. Yesterday, that was good enough for second place in the sprint. Okay, so that was the sprint race. And it was Lando taking his first sprint victory with the major points handed out in the Grand Prix. Norris, who has driven so many times, that is his race engineer, Roy Joseph. We've heard the driver conversing to engineer and vice versa all the way through this race. It doesn't appear that McLaren has rip-roaring pace, and they minimise some of the damage to get past Charles Leclerc, who at the moment is doing all he can for his team. He tries to close the gap down, but at the moment, one Ferrari running, two McLarens are out.
It's so tough to know what the real pace order is. Verstappen with clean track, as we see Piastri going a little bit wide there in turn 12. Not too much time lost, but he's going to be exposed here.
Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda is going to be on the charge. He's got so much more momentum. All the speed that you take out of turn 12, you take down to turn number 1. Here's the example as they build up to 180 miles per hour. Can Piastri hang on the inside? The answer is yes, and he's got away with that one for the time being.
It's not over yet, though. Yuki's going to have another shot down into turn 4. Still no DRS, so not as powerful an opportunity here. I think too far back to make it work this time. So as you say, Piastri getting away with that one. But just going back to that point, Verstappen in clean air, we're seeing this pace out of devastating right now. Almost a second quicker than Ocon on that last lap. When you compare it, Ocon and Gasly holding up Russell, and then Leclerc holding up the McLarens, the V-carbs. If those cars were in clear air, it'd be tough to know exactly what sort of pace they've had if it's closer to the Red Bull right now. As we just take a look at that little lock-up left front from Piastri. Didn't get all four wheels off, rather. He managed to hang on to the spot with the charging V-carbs. But right now, I mean, Max doesn't have to push. He can maintain this gap if he wants, and he just keeps going faster and faster, setting new fastest laps, you know, half a dozen times already since he took the lead.
A little bit of progress being made by George Russell in the battle for the final podium place. Russell, the 26-year-old Brit, up against Gasly, the 28-year-old Frenchman. And Gasly looking for what would be only a 5th career podium. Esteban Ocon looking for his 4th career podium today. This race could yet still be affected by the weather. Looking out of the commentary box window, it's the same intensity of rain out there for the moment.
And a weather update on lap 60. We expect class 1 to class 2 rain to last for about 4 laps.
So specific. I love the specificity of it. Exactly which lap, exactly how intense the rain is going to be, and for exactly how many laps. And I do like that they seem to have switched the trend from telling a driver for how long it's going to rain in terms of minutes, and turn that into laps.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get
And
past
a weather
as quickly
update
as you
on
can.
lap
Push
60. We expect class 1 to class 2 rain to last for about 4 laps.
Doesn't lose 16 points to Max Verstappen. That really is a pivotal moment in the World Championship, and what a different story it appeared earlier on when Max Verstappen was 17th on the grid for this Grand Prix. We had Lance Stroll spin out earlier on before we got the start, before the 5 red lights went out. We had Alex Albon unable to take the start, so he was lined up as the 15th car, but from 17th on the grid is what the rule book and the record books will record. That's a super late lunge from Sergio Perez. And even though we have seen a lot of late lunges into that corner today, that one was never going to work. Might be a different story at turn number 4.
Yeah, much closer this time than what we saw from that last battle down into turn 4. These two have history coming from last week in Mexico. Contact on a botched pass attempt by Checo on Lawson.
Hamilton has a wonderful view of a battle that he would have wanted to be much further in front of. Russell is the driver applying the pressure. There's going to be a second risk and reward window, like we saw when Oliver Behrman was really attacking Carlos Sainz. Russell's going to have that opportunity on Gasly. Gasly's going to have that opportunity on his teammate. Verstappen's got to try and find a measure when that rain arrives. The team have a good handle on the weather at this stage of the weekend. We still expect another shower before we get to the checkered flag. Perez racing with intent right now. He wants to get past Lawson.
Getting so close to the back of the V-carb there, through that second sector. Just trying to make Lawson look at his mirrors. He's just trying to get him distracted, get him off his game a little bit. Might just take the smallest little mistake that gives Checo the opportunity. He's pretty close this time. And we've seen how strong he can be on the brakes into turn 1. Maybe an opportunity here. Lawson defending to the inside. Checo goes to the outside, then ducks back in.
The switchback move, the place gained, the apex first. Lawson doesn't want to give it up. It's not that wide a racetrack, and there's the example. Wheel banging on the way through. Perez's momentum has been checked, and Hamilton is desperately trying to fight back through. These two coming to blows again.
A lot more respect there, a lot more racing room, but God, it was close there. Hamilton had to back out of it in turn 3, lost that momentum, didn't have an opportunity to get on Checo, but now he does.
And Hamilton finds a way by. Sergio Perez showing that if you deviate from the racing line at certain corners, there's so much water. If you even go a wheel's width wide, and Hamilton didn't need a second invitation, he is up to 10th position.
Got onto that exit curve outside of turn 12 and just no grip. The water pools up. There's serrated edges there on the kind of tiered levels of the curve, and water can sit inside. And you saw Checo half a car width over it, couldn't get the power down. And unfortunately, nothing he could do to stop Hamilton from going by. He goes from almost executing the pass on Lawson to losing a position, trying to go for 9, ends up outside the points at 11.
Gasly, you can see, punch and counter punch with George Russell, who's got rid of a tear-off. The spray is high, kicked high by that Mercedes, the lead Mercedes in the contest. An intense contest, a draining contest of the drivers that looks certain to have an impact on both championships, but certainly the Drivers' Championship, with Lando Norris now getting that gap down to 1.4 seconds. You never know what twists and turns we're going to get, not only in this race, but for the rest of the season. We still have a triple header to decide both titles in Las Vegas, in Qatar, and in Abu Dhabi to close out the season. Norris will know that if he can get past Leclerc, he can recover something from today, as we review that great switchback move that saw Lawson go side by side. Not best friends, those two.
No, never have been. I don't think they ever will be. As Verstappen lowers the fastest lap time again, down to a 22.0. But no, that was... That's just good hard racing. Still came out in front, so no harm, no foul. No reason to take too much issue with it there for Liam Lawson.
Hamilton had a really good first sector of the racetrack, trying to chase down Liam Lawson last time around. He's getting a good hole punched in the air from him once again, and Hamilton trying to find a route for a safe and clean pass on Lawson. Meanwhile, the Mercedes of George Russell really applying the pressure to Pierre Gasly. Gasly looking for just a 5th career podium. George Russell has stood on the roster 14 times before, twice as a winner. Gasly memorably winning the Italian Grand Prix of 2020. Would love a chance to do what he's done before around here and put it on the podium. he was in a drag race to the line with a Mercedes that day. He doesn't want to be in a drag race to the line with a Mercedes on this day, and he's trying to put his car on the rostrum as well. And the Enstone-based team, they've been known by different names through the years, but the Enstone factory Formula One team haven't had 2 cars on the podium since 2013. It's an enormous opportunity as Verstappen logs fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap. And there is a reminder of George Russell trying to turn 14 into 15. All the way back to turn 12 is Hamilton trying to take 9th place.
He's trying, he's working at it. Again, he's recovered nicely from a rough start to this Grand Prix, both from his physical starting position and then a few off-track situations early. Definitely deeper on the brakes than Liam Lawson. Lawson exposed a little bit. Both cars getting some oversteer through turn 1. Big wiggle there from Lawson. He would have had to check up off the throttle there. Not enough for Hamilton to get an honest run, but Hamilton's definitely later on the brakes.
No inside line available to the 3-time Interlagos winner, the driver who put on a performance of real class back in 2021, on his way to roaring through from the back of the sprint to the front by the end of the Grand Prix. So that's 58 of 69, and we have an interesting top 2 that few could have predicted. Perez feeling brave now. The fastest lap of the race belongs to Max Verstappen. Can Perez find his way back into the points? He's driving to the left, to the right, soaring away at the back of that Mercedes, but there's still no route through. It's serene at the front, and so many other positions are up for grabs. Doesn't look like 5th is at the moment. Norris has dropped back 1.8 seconds away.
Yeah, I mean, Checo here clearly's got pace in this race car. It's just so hard to execute those passes. Hamilton also very strong on the brakes into turn 1, certainly stronger than the V-carb in front. He really needs, if anything, Hamilton to start making some moves here on Lawson so that he can try and attack there, get himself back into the top 10, and then go after the Mercedes. But man, I'm just so impressed with these Alpines. Both drivers doing an incredible job to maintain that position. We're coming up to 10 laps to go in this race, and they have really not been challenged since they got themselves up there. Great strategy, staying out long, benefiting, of course, from that safety car and ultimately that red flag condition, but they are maintaining this pace and just doing an incredible job.
This is really still in the balance until we get that final shower. I want to thank Ruth Buscombe-Davey for giving us the information of the gap that you need to box under the safety car, pit under the safety car, and come out in front is around 14 to 15 seconds. If we get another moment that changes the conditions and you've got to go from the intermediate to the wet tyre. George Russell is hoping to get that pass done. Russell was furious on the radio that they gave up track position. That has been pivotal. In the form of the rest of the year, you would have expected the Mercedes to roar past the Alpines, but this has been a strange occasion. We started at 7:30 in the morning for the racing action. The fans were still making their way into the circuit at that time. The queues were round the block, as they always seem to be. The mechanics were on site at 4 a.m. preparing these cars, and some teams have had to do that again and again. There was incredible work at Williams and Aston Martin to get their entries, at least one entry into the race of both of those teams, and we have been treated to a wet race of renown. We're going to talk about what Max Verstappen has done in this race, and he will want it to go all the way to the end. Lap 60 was about the moment McLaren expected the final rain shower of the Grand Prix to arrive, and then how much is Gasly prepared to risk compared to George Russell? One moment on the curb, one lockup, can see your podium chances fade in an instant.
And remember, you know, we have 27, now 28 laps on these inters as Verstappen sets another new fastest lap. And that's more laps than what we saw on them when the really heavy rain came last time before the red flag for the Colapinto crash. So if we do get a deluge here, it is going to be super challenging. You can see how much drier the racetrack is getting online. Again, drier, not dry by any stretch. It's still rooster tails coming off the cars. But you can see where that line is quite clearly. So these inters really getting stressed. Drivers having to manage, having to balance. How much do you push? How aggressive are you for lap time and for overtakes, but still making sure there's enough rubber left on these tires to make it all the way to lap 69.
Hamilton continuing to trail Lawson. Russell continuing to trail Gasly. One Mercedes battling for the podium, the other one trying to make the best of a tricky weekend as Hamilton closes out his era-defining run with Mercedes before moving to Ferrari. One of so many talking points that we can't wait to get stuck into for Formula One in 2025. But for Formula One in 2024, it looks like this is a defining day. The rain does not appear to be increasing outside the commentary box window or on the evidence of the cameras.
Lando, Oscar behind you has a 10-second penalty. We want therefore you to get close to Leclerc.
What do you think of me? So I'm trying to go as quickly as I can.
So that does also answer a question that we were talking about earlier about Piastri's penalty. Even though he stopped before the red, clearly did not serve that penalty at that time. I wonder if the same is true for the penalty that Ollie Behrman was given. So some question marks.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
Oscar behind you has a 10-second penalty. We want therefore you to get close to Leclerc.
What do you think of me? So I'm trying to go as quickly as I can.
Strategies behind that, but I think it's quite clear in this Grand Prix, Norris trying to do everything he can to move up. He's not just letting Leclerc sit 2.5 seconds in front of him. That's just the pace of the McLaren at the moment. Not as strong in these conditions as what they were in the dry. That'll be a team ruling the fact that the weather turned from yesterday to today.
Another fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Max Verstappen. Statement after statement after statement being made. The first time we heard him really rattled all year long was in the pen after qualifying. You knew there was going to be a response that either hurt his championship challenge or defined it. And we're on lap 63 of 69. It is very much the latter.
It's just so much like 2021. Hamilton, super quick, qualified on pole by a mile, was disqualified for technical infraction. Many people going down the conspiracy theory route, but what it did was light a fire under this driver and set him up for one of the greatest drives of his career from the back to the front as he gets so close now to the back of that V-carb. Wow, what he would give for DRS at this stage of the race.
Oscar Piastri, you can see, he's 12 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Norris not enjoying the hurry up, but doesn't have the balance, doesn't have the speed, and that outstanding penalty graphic is for Piastri. 10 seconds will be added to his race time. He's had to let Norris through for the order in the Drivers' Championship, and Russell is still a second away from Gasly. The opinion down in the paddock has changed. The level of rain that we're now expecting to the end is about to remain the same. So Russell trying to force Gasly into an error in the final stages, and nothing is simple on a day like today.
Absolutely not. His teammate Hamilton trying to do the same to Liam Lawson. Just got to make that error. Look, we talked about how great a job the Alpines are doing. Right now, Ocon still a second a lap slower than Verstappen. So that track position is so important. It is very difficult to execute passes right now as that dry line starts to form. Again, drier line starts to form. We talked about this earlier. The harder it is to go offline to try to execute a pass. So even though the Alpines are a second off the pace, they're able to maintain that track position. But up front, Verstappen just metronomic in his firing off of these quick laps. As the track dries a little bit, it gets a bit more grip. As the fuel burns, it gets a little bit lighter. And the car's got a bit more pace, and he's just finding that tenth and a half every lap or two and bettering his own fastest lap. So impressive up front.
Max Verstappen had a lead of 44 points coming into today. He will extend his lead in the Drivers' World Championship if he can complete the final tours. And it's 5 to go as he sets another fastest lap, as he writes a story that's going to be mentioned a long time into the future. The door was ajar after qualifying, and he's roared back through it, through the field, to the front. And now, Gasly, again, feeling the need to cool down the tyres. Look at this leap from Alpine. No one saw this coming. They are heading, as it stands, from a dreary, dreary position of 9th in the Constructors' Championship, back up to 6th, trying to take advantage of this, trying to hang on to a double podium against all expectations at the start of the day.
And this is one of the things that started that conversation a few races ago about changing the point system to pay all the way down, because you have a team that has been struggling. Let's call a spade a spade. The results haven't been there, but with points so few and far between for the bottom half of that midfield, one day where conditions are strange and the race plays out in a bizarre fashion can alter that situation so much. That jump from 9th to 6th, we're talking tens of millions of dollars in prize money at the end of the season if they're able to hang on to that position. This is a game changer for their year.
Flavio Briatore, executive advisor at that team. Oliver Oakes, the team principal installed this year mid-season, will be dancing in the rain if they can hang on to a double podium. And for the team that have had to carry on working, trying to keep smiles on faces, they've had to reduce the head count there in the last few months as well. So much work has gone on. Sometimes you put all the hard work in and you get the reward. You get a glug of the champagne. And sometimes you can't put a car in the top 8. Alpine knew this was going to be a golden opportunity, and they are getting closer and closer. Can Russell give himself an option with the deployment of energy on the last lap in the way that we saw Perez take the fight to Alonso last year? We're still seeing Liam Lawson keep Hamilton and Perez behind, the man auditioning for a promotion for the big team next year, or maybe just a full season contract with the Faenza-based team for the first time in his career.
Checo's got a great run on Hamilton here, down the back straight into 4.
This is for the final point. Will the gap appear?
Crazy, they got a
to get out of
2-3 Alpine, top 3.
Yeah, he knew that Hamilton wasn't going to be foolish enough to give Checo the opportunity. He knows how good Checo is on the brakes right now in these conditions, and then up front, Lawson hanging
Norris
on
went from
with
P1
everything
to
he's got.
P6.
I will finish the race for the mechanics. But they did a very good job today.
Max went from P17 to P1.
30, man. This bumps in it.
Hamilton here down the back straight into 4.
I will finish the race for the mechanics. But they did a very good job today.
Yeah, he knew that Hamilton wasn't going to
But
be
my back is
foolish enough
30,
to
man.
give Checo the opportunity.
This bouncing is not normal.
He's on the brakes right now, and these
And Lance Stroll's cars fixed after qualifying crashes in time for the start of the race.
But they did a very good job today.
Yeah, Alonso thanking the mechanics on the radio there as we look at these glorious corners in the wet, in front of the crowds on the terraces.
you want to hear out of a race.
Alonso having trouble
in
with his
Interlagos
bouncing on his car.
has provided us again
He said
with
the
another
back
classic.
was messed
And
up.
Hamilton get close. He did, but not to
will
find
finish the
his
race
way
for
by.
Hamilton.
Russell remains a second away from Gasly, who's driven brilliantly so far. We're on lap 67 of 69. The lap count reduced by 2. Verstappen continuing to set purple sectors. That's for being the fastest on the track at any point of the race. He's on for the full 26 points. Esteban Ocon hanging on to second as it stands for just his 4th career podium. It would be a 5th career podium for Pierre Gasly, his second one around this circuit. Nervy moments for the team principal, Oliver Oakes.
And another fastest lap for Verstappen. He is just clicking them off at an incredible rate right now. Over a second.
He's on for the full 26 points. Esteban Ocon hanging on to second as it stands for just his 4th career podium, and it would be a 5th career podium for Pierre Gasly, his second one around this circuit. Nervy moments
for the team principal, Oliver Oaks.
And another fastest lap for Verstappen. He is just clicking.
Hamilton or Perez to make a move here. This is a spirited drive. Look, as Checo's going for it.
He's trying to get to the apex first. Hamilton was slow out of 12. He goes wide to give room to his racing rival. Slightly compromised line as they make their way down the hill now to turn number 4. They're heading to the late corner. Can Perez finally get that line that he's been looking for all the while? We are watching the battle for the final places in the points, and coming over the line outside of the commentary box window is Max Verstappen to start the final lap, the final 2.6 miles of a generational drive to victory.
As you say, this is just championship momentum back in Verstappen's favor in a big way. He has not left a Grand Prix with an extended lead very often over Lando Norris since the summer break. Only Austin, I believe, is the only time he's outscored him and actually increased that gap. But right now, it is going to be a monstrous swing in Verstappen's favor after what's been an incredible drive.
It has been an uncomfortable time away from the front for Max Verstappen. It really has. They're still fighting all the way to the final lap for the final point. But Max Verstappen has put together something truly remarkable. Still an opportunity for the final places in the points, really, to change towards the end. And Verstappen is ticking off the final corners. He is plunging down the hill now. In the Brazilian rain, the Dutchman has delivered a defining drive. He climbs the hill back to Grand Prix victory. Up through the gears to a huge moment in the Drivers' World Championship. The world champion strikes back. Max Verstappen wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in 2024. 17th on the grid to the win. A return to victory when it mattered most. His first win for a Grand Prix since back in June, to put one hand on the championship trophy. And punching the air with delight is Esteban Ocon, who takes his 4th career podium, and he will be joined by his teammate for his 5th career podium. And for the first time in 11 years, Team Enstone have both cars on the podium. Alpine finally have something to smile about as they beat Russell to the line by 7/10 of a second. And with the time penalty applied, Piastri drops down behind Yuki Tsunoda. Leclerc was in 5th, Norris was in 6th. We're racing all the way to the line, but Hamilton was 3/10 of a second away. Perez was denied that final point. But that was defining, it was generational, it was superlative for Max.
Wow. It's been a long time coming, mate, but boy, was that worth the wait. You are the man.
And with the time penalty applied, Piastri drops down behind Yuki Tsunoda. Leclerc was in 5th, Norris was in 6th. We're racing all the way to the line, but Hamilton was 3/10 of a second away. Perez was denied that final point.
You just love hearing that emotion out of Max Verstappen. I mean, last year, we just got so used to hearing those radio messages kind of being like, yeah, hey guys, good job. That raw emotion, he's so thrilled to be back up front, and he earned that one.
Oh, yes! What an unbelievable race, guys.
It's been a long time coming, mate.
You know what that is?
Was that
simply lovely.
You are the man.
I tell you that. Oh, yes!
Just love hearing that emotion out of Max Verstappen. I mean, last year, we just got so used to hearing those radio messages kind of being like, yeah, hey guys, good job. That raw emotion, he's so thrilled.
Funnily
to be
enough,
back
no,
up
I
front,
didn't
and
think
he
so,
earned
no.
that one. That is something to be happy about,
Well done, mate.
as is the
Zario
performance
10.
from both of these guys. Let's hear from Ocon.
Well done, mate. Zario 10 and P2.
What a race, guys! Oh, yes!
Well done, mate.
What a race, guys! Oh, we didn't think we were going to be there, right?
Well done, mate.
Funnily enough, no, I
That's a
didn't
fun
think so.
celebration.
So well done.
Funnily enough, no, I didn't think so, no. So well done.
Yeah, that is...
Yeah, well
with all great champions, but surely that is right up there with one of the greatest performances he has had in his illustrious career. He is now staring at a 4th world champion.
Yeah, you know, I don't even think he's thinking about the championship right now. I think he's just so proud of that drive. You see that enthusiasm, that excitement, the cheer with the crowd, cheer with the crew. You haven't seen that kind of animation out of him that often lately, because even when he was winning, it was just expected almost. And so it's great to see that renewed passion a little bit. Not that he ever lost the passion for winning or for racing, but it's just incredible to see the emotion that is still oozing out of Max when he has a drive right now.
I think he's just so proud of that drive. You see that enthusiasm, that excitement, the cheer with the crowd, cheer with the crew. You haven't seen that kind of animation out of him that often lately, because even when he was winning, it was just expected almost.
GG's on Max, his win today.
Passion a little bit. Not that he ever lost a passion for winning or for racing, but it's just incredible to see the emotion that is still oozing out of Max when he has a drive like that.
2 Frenchmen on the podium.
GG's on Max's win today, and 2 Alpines on top, 2nd and 3rd.
You have to go back to Spain in 1997, I'm being informed. Olivier Panis and Jean Alesi that day. For Pierre and for Esteban. Friends turned rivals, turned teammates, turned Frenchmen on the podium together. For the 4th time, Alpine's miserable season turns the page, and they're up to 6th in the Constructors' Championship.
It's a $30 million day. I mean, it's a good day. And look, that crew has not had a lot to cheer for or to be happy about this season. It's been a tough slog. Everyone acknowledges
$30 million day. Alpine just won $30 million.
They never gave up. They brought that update to the car in Austin. They were rewarded with a Q3 appearance. They were rewarded further in Mexico with points, the first one since June. And now look at this. Double podium position in Brazil. Just 2 weeks after they had their first points for several months. Max with the family.
You can't argue a driver of the day.
No. Almost a foregone conclusion on that one.
Hall of Fame stuff. It's going to go into the great drives conversation, and it looked that way from early on. You say, the emotions today, up and down, and in the end, on top of all the others. Lando took the pole, Max took the win, Alpine just as delighted. The rest of the classification, George Russell in 4th, Charles Leclerc in 5th, Lando Norris with a 6th place to lose points in the World Championship battle, Yuki Tsunoda with a strong 7th place, Oscar Piastri's penalty dropped him down to 8th. The points were completed by Lawson and Perez, just 0.3 of a second between Lawson and Hamilton across the line. The rest of the finishes, Perez, Bevan, Bottas, Alonso, championship pendulum basically broke.
I got stuck in between, bro.
Back towards Lando when he took pole. And in the end, it's high fives
That was on me. I should have took that inside.
Outstanding. It's just outstanding. What a Grand Prix. What a weekend, really, from start to finish. So much is thrown at these teams and drivers.
That was just
Everybody
dumb.
handling it in stride. Obviously, at the end of the day, you can only have one winner, and that is Max Verstappen, but it certainly feels like a win for the Alpine team.
Let's hear from Rubens Barrichello speaking to the top 3.
Alright, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
What an incredible race. Yesterday, did you have any thoughts you might have won today with the weather, or it was tough? It was a tough weekend. Yeah, I mean, my emotions today have been a roller coaster, you know, with qualifying being really unlucky with that red flag. Starting P17, I knew that it was going to be a very tough race, but we stayed out of trouble, we made the right calls, we stayed calm, and we were flying. So all of these things together, of course, made that result possible, but I mean, unbelievable to win here.
And with rain and everything.
The first corner, when you went to the inside, you saw there was a lot of grip, and then you started to use that a lot. The overtaking looked fantastic from the outside. Did you know there was a little bit more grip in the inside because you kept on doing fastest laps and using that line?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very hard to pass around here with the new tarmac. It's only one line that you can take. But yeah, I just knew that I had to go for it. It's of course always
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
I have confidence on the brakes as well. That helps. And yeah, turn 1 is always a great corner to pass.
There was 17 fastest laps, so well done, Max. You made the crowd stand up all the way.
I hope they enjoyed it.
They did. Thank you. It's good to see you, my friend. It was nice to see you before the race. Did you look like you could have been on the podium since that moment?
I mean, what a day that was, you know, after the difficult season. You know, it's really nice to be driving around here and having, you know, the performance a bit leveled out, you know, on the rain. Someone very important to all of us said a long time ago that, you know, on the rain, the cars are almost equal. And that phrase didn't age at all. And yeah, I'm very happy to be today on the podium. I think it's been awesome, and the support I received here from all the Brazilian fans is incredible, and yeah, I can't thank everyone enough.
By any chance, you guys work on a setup because you knew it was going to be wet? Did you work a little bit on that because you knew the car was going to be faster in the wet?
No. Just the car was extremely difficult, you know, on the dry, and really, you know, I felt at ease, you know, when it started to rain this morning and last night. I really wanted to get some lap on the rain. I love it here when it rains, and yeah, today has brought a special race for us.
Enjoy the party with Alpine. It was great to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, what a great race. How tough it was to make that decision to stay on track just before the red flag.
Thank you well. It's incredible for the whole team. For the, you know, we had such a tough season. We struggled to score points, and yeah, in these conditions, everything was possible. And well, we believed it until the end.
Might experience some understeer
On the podium, I don't think anyone would have put that on the bingo card, you know, ahead of the season. So it's just fantastic.
So from the car that you had yesterday to the car of today, it's just the wet that made it possible?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday the pace on the dry was good. I finished 7th. This morning we had a very poor quality, a couple of incidents. We didn't get a lap in Q2, so we started far, 13th, and managed to make 10th position. So I'm absolutely buzzing right now. I'm just so proud of the team, you know, to overcome such a tough season. And you know, it would have been too easy to give up, but we never gave up. And yeah, here we are, both cars, P2 and P3, a lot of points for the team, and yeah, everybody should be very proud today.
Thanks, Pierre. Enjoy the time with Alpine.
Rubens Barrichello asking the questions. Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Max Verstappen giving the answers. Now, the leader of the World Championship by 62 points. The driving distinction, Max Verstappen, from 17th on the grid, the 15th car in play, to the win. P1 and the stuff of motor racing legend. Max Verstappen responding in a day that he described of emotions of extreme highs and extreme lows. Formula One at its finest, to roar through them.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Guys going off the road up ahead, they're locking up.
the start. I think I passed like 3 or 4 cars in already. Like, okay. I didn't even see him. I didn't even see Checo was done. No, I think that this was the beginning.
Okay, final lap. Let's go.
These chances are actually quite.
Providing an incredible qualifying session and a remarkable Grand Prix. The timing of the safety cars and the red flags of which tyres you used at which time proving defining. But for Alpine and Max Verstappen, this is joy, true joy. Pierre Gasly on the podium for the 5th time in his career.
About to pop the champagnes.
Gasly fought his way from 13th on the grid.
Ocon. And here comes Max.
And it's Gasly from Rouen and the man from Evero alongside him. 2 Frenchmen on the podium for the first time since 1997 in Formula One. But Max Verstappen came from 17th on the grid to the victory that puts one hand on the championship trophy, and he lets the emotion out as he hears his national anthem.
Alpine people crying out there.
Made to wait a while, but a drive that he will cherish long after his career has come to
Max just did a historical drive today, guys.
For Max Verstappen. Victory number 2 in the Grand Prix format, one to Sabre. The gold medal comes with it as well. The 111th podium, his 62nd win, and taking him closer to that 4th consecutive World Championship. For Red Bull, a return to the top of the rostrum. Pierre Washer, the lead designer now. Chief Technical Brain remaining at the Red Bull team, celebrating. As will Esteban Ocon. Didn't expect it at all in the dry. In the wet, he looked comfortable. He led a load of laps and he holds that second place trophy aloft. Delighted on the best day of Alpine season by far. Pierre Gasly for the second time at this storied venue lifts aloft a trophy from the podium. Not quite the drama of the drag race.
Pop the champagne bottles.
But satisfying to be up there. But Alpine hadn't cracked the top 8 all year when it came to the Grand Prix format. They leap up to 6th in the Constructors' Championship. But Red Bull and Max Verstappen strike back after the disappointment of qualifying dominance like we saw last year that we thought had ended in 2024. Championship race and celebrates with the champagne with his team. And I get the feeling the celebrations will go on and on and on. You knew when we had a different format, when we had qualifying and the Grand Prix on a Super Sunday, that someone was going to take momentum and take the chance that it offered in the wet in Sao Paulo. Alpine reinvigorate their season, and in the Drivers' World Championship, it is Max Verstappen with a 62-point lead. Ferrari are still second. McLaren still lead the Constructors' Championship. Max Verstappen looks like he is heading to a 4th World Championship. 3 Grand Prix and a sprint remain in 2024. But it's all smiles, it's delight on the podium, especially for the Dutchman. 17th on the grid to victory. Sao Paulo. Alpine are having the champagne passed to them from the podium to the team. And after all the effort, the early start, and the amount of work across a triple header in Formula One's longest ever season, they have earned that. There are plenty not with the team in recent times that have worked hard as well. They'll be remembered today, and they'll be celebrating. Hard work rewarded. Sometimes you're at the front, sometimes you're at the back, but the work in Formula One is never ending. The acclaim of the crowd, the Alpine boys, 2 Frenchmen on the podium, but Max Verstappen left them all behind. A defining win for the World Championship that leaves him with a 62-point lead, his first Grand Prix.
You okay? You feel better? Las pastillitas te ayudaron un poquito. Manda. Sounds good, baby. Man, that dude just came and hit me in the back. And he DNF'd this guy.
now use DRS. DRS now available.
Oh, then I mess up right there.
Okay, be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage.
Yeah. I hit that strip. Made me lose control.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. know what they say about the first of the losers. Come on, we could have done better than that. It was all about the win today.
It may only be Friday, but the carnival atmosphere has begun. We're here in Mexico, ready for free practice.
We're going to be logging some extra data during this session. Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts on the car, we'll just confirm they're performing to spec.
Man, I race so much in my F1 World car that this sucker right here feels a lot different. It's a whole different car right here.
Okay, we haven't hit our program targets. Come in and take a look at the data. And if we have time, we'll rerun the program. Okay, your goal is to get through as many corner gates as quickly and precisely as possible. Remember to activate your DRS in the DRS zone as well. We're approaching the DRS zone. Watch your MFD for the activation point. Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
5 of 5 on that one.
Okay, this is a quali sim. We've estimated the times our closest rivals will be doing, so that's what we need to beat. Didn't really get the data we needed on that run. You might want to give it another go.
It's a good practice. Oh, it's gonna be raining and race day. Damn it. We're sitting in 6. Times are pretty close. Baby, pones los Cowboys. Ahí está. The roses. Right there. Totally forgot I was too into the race today.
What an incredible practice session that was. But the fun doesn't stop here, though. Join us again as the rest of the weekend unfolds.
Hombre. No, pues yo también. Dile, entonces no me puedo rimar para allá. I can't get I can't go get realistic. On Spectrum, yeah. I thought Cowboys and Falcons. I just saw it. Oh, go to guide? It's supposed to be coming out. Go to guide? I think channel 4 or something. Ahí está. No, so Ravens. Dale más para abajo. Ahí está. Cowboys and...
Let's get a few laps under our belt.
And we're losing. And we're already second quarter. Jesus Christ. Pues that's nothing new. So that's all Cowboys know how to do. The only... Yeah? Oh, it's carpet grass. Yeah, it's artificial grass. Uh-huh. Oh, for real? The Roma del field. But that's pretty cool because they're Rio and Roma were the only ones to have real grass back when I was still in high school. Which I like playing football in real grass, fake grass.
Okay, we haven't hit our program targets. Come in and take a look at the data, and if we have time, we'll rerun the program.
Wow, wide open for a touchdown. Through to 14. Stupid Cowboys. Set a time, we're P6, currently P6. We're about to race Grand Prix in Mexico City. Tírasela bien, Dak. Damn.
And if today's practice is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula One.
Three fails. You better score, Dak. Aquí la carpet se la cagó. Es que ya no es indoor, ya no sabe. ¿Y no tiene para dejarla afuera o qué? No tienen encercado allá atrás en la casa o algo. Que se quede afuera, ¿para qué la quieren adentro? Aparte que suelta pelo de perro, man.
The fans have been here since dawn, and the stadium, the Faro Sol, is absolutely heaving. We're about to get set the grid for tomorrow's Grand Prix.
Oh
it's
my God.
qualifying day here in Mexico City.
Their dogs, just put her a blanket or something outside in her it's crazy. Me imagino cómo están los suegros.
Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Damn. Y luego parece que tenía chorro.
Dice que cuando anda así en su period que le da chorro. Well, she said she had the diaper
Damn. Deja tú, es carpet. Fuck.
Dice, I woke up to the chorro smell at 1:30 in the morning. I remember Luna used to get chorro with house food. Y así se quedó ya haciendo chorro.
Sacan hijo ese show.
And alongside me...
Now, I know this isn't...
It looks like there's no rain, but it's supposed to rain.
We're accumulating somewhere on the MG UK. To manage this, we're going to need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
Got front wing damage, but we crossed everybody right there. Literally like, no more front wing damage, no.
Right, we've got a very worn-out MG UK. Our battery charge speed is suffering, and if it gets much worse, we could be forced to retire.
We got technical problems. And we got front wing problems.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push.
Front wing is not helping.
Okay, gap to the car in front, 10.0 seconds.
As long as we got battery at this straight, we can fight for 7th. Oh, never mind, we're past. Can't do nothing else. It's our teammate too.
You've got front wing damage. Recommend you box for a new one. Box now. Okay, mate. After that front wing damage, we've got to look after it now. Please protect the front wing. Come on. Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus. We're expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
That front wing damage really bad. Hard to control this car. Person one. 222. Yeah. Max took it, brother. Seen the whole race. It was a crazy race, man. From the beginning. Right from the formation lap, when you got Lance Stroll crashing in the formation lap. A lot of rain made the race real challenging. Max came all the way from P17 to P1. Simply lovely, yep. Simply lovely. That was his comment. Yeah, Max. Man, it was one of his many historical races. He's I can't control this car with this wing, man. I got the 10-second. Yeah, that was one of his many, you know, historical races he's ever had, man. To push from P17 all the way to P1.
But don't worry about it. There's a long way to go.
Crazy.
Chin up and let's focus till the end.
Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Oscar got a 10-second penalty for. I think he flipped. I think he flipped Behrman. No, was it? I think he flipped Behrman or Carlos Pinto. He just went. Lando went from P1 all I think to P6.
Put that behind us now and finish the race strong. Get your head down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. This race is just. I'm trying to get this season over with. Four more races to get this season over with.
Clear of the white line on the exit.
Rain already.
For dangerous driving if you cross onto the
Why
track.
did they put on hards if it's raining? Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, the stewards have now disabled DRS. DRS is now disabled. Well, what happened? Let me know you're okay.
Well, that's it for that damn track. But yeah, person one, yeah, it was on Behrman. It was a beautiful race though. The whole race, it was entertaining. It was chaos. Everything you want in a race. I can't believe Lance Stroll lost control of his car on the beginning in the formation lap. That was funny. Huh?
You remember Celinda?
Celinda?
We were graduating with her.
The checkered flag is out.
Celinda.
We're going to
Let
be
me see
hearing
her
that
face.
Dutch national anthem again because it's victory for Max
Oh yeah,
Verstappen.
I remember her. Oh, they had even a part like a little a cena.
Celinda, I work with her at the nursing home. I work with her.
And looks like that. I know that dude too. I think he graduated 05 too,
The
no?
drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations.
Stroh's
to
yeah,
everybody
for
in the
real.
team.
Did you watch
Well,
the whole
that was
race,
certainly an
person
exciting
one?
Weekend of Formula One.
Were you,
Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One
Bedtime,
action
all right, brother.
very soon.
Good night, man. My day just starting over here. I had a horrible race right there. Just trying to get this season over with, really. After this season, all the cars are gonna lose upgrades. They're all gonna full race, yes sir. Nice, nice. I was kind of streaming it at the same time, watching it. I was watching it and on live. I had it on live stream here. Orlando. 320, 370. Trying to save some parts for next season. All these are gonna be they're unprotected, so they're gonna be all taken away. Everybody's gonna have the same regulation changes. One, two. 20 years, baby, that we graduated. Damn, time flies.
I worked with Celinda for 6 years at the nursing home helping her take care of wounds from patients. She's an RN. No, she's an LVA.
Yeah, I remember her. They were one of the they were the smart people in our class.
Okay, all the new parts have been fabricated and we're going to have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
They were all like in the AA classes. Todo ese pedo, esos chicks. I really wouldn't talk to nobody. She has no legs though.
No.
Un caballito.
Y se hizo un caballito en la rodilla, en el pedacito que tiene aquí nomás.
That's funny. But at least she has a sense of humor.
Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to a much loved old school circuit. It's Interlagos, it's practice time. We're here in Brazil. Great to have you with us.
Okay, we need a few solid laps here to help us calculate a good race strategy.
She deserves a light. Why? It's just, no, like that's just who she. It's just who she is. She wants the likes. She wouldn't have posted it if she didn't want nobody to like it, you know? the comments. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like laughing because it's kind of funny too, and that's just who she is. I don't like, just don't be like mean and rude, like.
She's starting it. Like, don't be mad at us for that.
Okay, that's the test over, but I'm afraid we didn't get what we needed. We're going to have to run it again.
Manda.
Wait, not yet. Look.
Had a chat with the R&D team about the new
Oh
car,
shit!
and they're happy that they've been integrated into the car.
I'm gonna get you, Chucky.
You're gonna feel the improvement, so go and give
It's
it a try.
Chucky.
The way they record it, like.
In this program, we want you to focus on your fuel saving technique. Lift and coast through corner entry to save as much as you can whilst keeping under the minimum lap time.
Sweet tea.
Water side, tea, and there is cook. Okay, don't forget. I know on your rings at the side. Large. You know those? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Perdieron?
Apenas van a have time. They just went into halftime.
Program complete. Program complete. These results will do, although you could definitely
The third quarter barely started.
Giving it another shot. Okay, don't worry about tyres, just give it everything. In this test, we just want to make sure we can lap close to our rival's pace.
My tires are worn out. They're almost at 50. That's crazy, bro. There's no way, bro. There's no way we can do anything with those tires. Let's get out of here. Let's go to second practice. We're about to score on the Cowboys again.
And that's it. Practice is officially over. Until next time, goodbye. It's a Saturday showdown. Anyone fancy some hot laps around Interlagos?
For what? Oh. Yeah, drink another medication. Súbele tantito, baby, nomás para ir poquito.
And alongside me here to...
Okay, mate, I know it's not a great position to be stopped. Accumulating somewhere on the MG UK. To manage this, we're going to need to lower our ERS deployment mode. Right, we've got a very worn-out MG UK. Our battery charge speed is suffering, and if it gets much worse, we could be forced to retire.
I think they're here. I think they're here. Está Zoe ladrando como loca.
That start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past.
Come in! Ah, de que está trancado. Wait, no. I went outside. Come in! Ya llegó el Uber. Pónganse máscara. Tenemos COVID. No creo.
Don't touch me. Bien.
Llegó el Wari.
Ya sé, pues ya empieza mañana.
What a time. Peace out.